A blog reading from me to you by yours truly, Tom Birkenmeyer. If you like what you're about to hear, my website is tombirkenmeyer.com. Just as it's spelled on social media, take out the space, all lowercase, tombirkenmeyer.com. Now, this one riled a couple of feathers, but more than anything, there were so many other people that really loved it and even found some healing from things that pain them. The title of this is called The Best Way to Learn About Mental Illness is by Dating. Oh boy, I bet we can all relate to that one. Here we go. The best way to learn about mental illness is by dating. Are you offended I said that? Or did you take the joke and laugh with the rest of us? A friend of mine diagnosed with a mental illness who struggles daily with breakdowns weekly let me know she was not happy with his post right before blocking me. I suspect this person's mental illness is not going to get any better if they cannot laugh, especially with someone who is sympathetic towards people with a valid mental illness and wants to laugh and find humor for healing. When a bigot makes a joke, it's not funny except maybe to laugh at the bigot for seriously thinking that way. There has to be critical discernment made between good-spirited and mean-spirited laughter. Otherwise, we cannot find humor in our problems, and genuine laughter is extremely therapeutic. If we are primarily motivated by never offending anyone, we will destroy our human spirits to be politically correct and disingenuous. I thoroughly reject the terrible idea that we can't find humor about things that are otherwise not funny. I will always find humor in things that are not funny. People that take offense should stop being so self-absorbed and learn to laugh about anything and everything, especially that which pains them, if anything else, for the therapeutic value in finding humor in it. Some of our own personal issues are flat out enjoyable to have fun with. Can you relate? Now that is funny, as it should be. The challenge for us clear-thinking people is to not let toxic people make us bitter and unattractive or closed off to meeting anyone new. Let's be intelligently cautious, but not closed off. To use critical thinking to make rational discernment between good and mean-spirited humor. To find balance of caution and openness, which only experience can teach us together. The real tragedy is when someone decides to let toxic people win by throwing in the towel and quitting on humor and on meeting new people. When you quit, you rob someone else from getting to know the real you in the name of political correctness. My friend Pamela Subsebsky, I can't say her name, I'm so sorry. She says this. This is not meant to be snarky. Those nightmare dates that we call mental illness show us our own mental illnesses. Remember, we choose our dates, companions, and spouses, so always remember when you are pointing at someone else, you have 3 fingers pointing back at you. Relationships show us our vulnerabilities. That's what makes them so damn terrifying. Patricia is very humble and brilliant and scary in a good way. Through that line of thinking, we can create a course of correction and make our lives better. Everyone digging their heels in the sand on this issue will probably never improve their lives because they are not open to edit or correction. After all, it's always the other person's fault, so I do not need to evolve or transform anything about me. How silly. My friend Barbara Tunnick kissed 100 toads before she found her prince. Imagine after kissing her first toad, she quit. Or her 99th toad, and then she quit. She would have robbed herself from finding her prince, and her prince from finding her. Allowing toxic people to win and cause you to close off and quit is just silly, and it crushes you from the inside while the toxic people draw their energy from you to cause more harm to other people. My friend Christine Omar has a beautiful philosophic observation. She says, depends. Are we talking about learning about other people's mental illness, becoming aware of your own mental illness, or does dating cause it? Perhaps all of the above, LOL. That was pretty cool, I thought. Clear thinking comes from being able to put your emotions aside for a moment to refine your philosophies so that when you are driven by emotions, you can do something meaningful rather than destructive with the powerful energy that can only come from raw emotions. I got issues. Do you? If I'm going to find humor in all other issues but take offense when someone jokes about issues that I have, then I'm really being a hypocritical idiot, making my own issues worse. My friends who took offense and blocked me over this post because I found humor in mental illness are making their valid diagnosed mental illnesses worse for themselves. My friend Cindy Wilson says, if you can't laugh about it, you really will go mad. I've got some smart friends. Someone is mean-spirited about me or anyone else's issues, I don't surround myself with them anymore. Easy peasy. Someone is laughing with me about my issues, their issues, and any issues for therapeutic value. Lovely. I'm all in. Someone can find humor in anything except whatever hits close to home. That nonsensical, hypocritical, irrational way of thinking is self-destructive, and I don't want to be around it. Period. I was in special ed classes in school. I was held back a year. I still struggled to get straight D's. I'm shy and socially awkward. I'm reading a blog online. I rode the short bus. That's pretty funny. I tell my story regularly in very public forums where I am vulnerable and I find humor in every bit of it. It's been completely liberating and wonderful. So what's the result been of my open vulnerabilities? Is it arbitrary, pointless, feel-good stuff? Could anybody in their own struggles possibly connect with other humans if we are so self-absorbed that we keep to ourselves? With zero skill or background, and with all of my issues, I started a network marketing business in 2007. I am in love with learning and teaching. I'm in love with learning and teaching what I learn, so I built my new business by learning and teaching every day. Learning something new and teaching something new every day. Only 2.5 years into it, in my precious minutes of spare time, I declared financial freedom. I fired my boss and became a free human being, no longer controlled and manipulated by working for a paycheck like every other sucker does every day of their lives with a job. I'm a retired sucker. Most of the self-employed are even bigger suckers than the suckers with a job because they are even more controlled and manipulated through money dependency to pay their bills and eat. A few months after liberating myself from that pyramid scam, I bought my house in cash. No mortgage, no rent, ever again. Do you know how nice it is to no longer have rent or a mortgage? If you don't know that kind of loveliness, then you probably have a job or are self-employed the way mostly everyone else is. And what's hysterical about being self-employed is they are primarily motivated to be self-employed to have more freedom, and they end up with bigger shackles to the dollar than people with a job. If I got upset and took offense over my issues, I would have never have achieved my freedom and my independence. Instead of liberation, I would be a slave to my issues as well as to the dependency of money, just like every sucker needy for their job or some other type of pyramid scam. You have to be able to hold at least two thoughts in your head at the same time about this. Find humor in everything while taking the serious stuff seriously. Otherwise, if you only find humor, then you probably aren't going to evolve and improve your life, and that's just as silly as taking offense. Please feel free to share these great ideas. Please pass them along. The end. Again, TomBerkenmeyer.com. I've got thousands of videos and hundreds of blog posts, and it's all free. Just go out there. It's all about health, healing, and happiness, and mindset training, and financial freedom, and anything that can empower you to just live a better life. And also, learning to teach so that you can teach to teach. And that's what really spreads an idea and mobilizes people, is not just learning and teaching, but learning and then teaching to teach. That is how revolutions get started, right? And we could use a revolution in health and in food and in financial freedom and personal freedom in this country. So if you want to share these great ideas, share this video, pass it right along. And if you would like to work with me, reading this from my page, if you would like to work with me, I don't charge any fees. I'm not going to sell you something that you don't want or that you don't need. Just connect with me privately. And if you have a sincere interest, we'll look further into it and have a conversation. Bye for now. Mwah.